Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A video for today. Got a couple topics for this one. The first one is going to be what is my favorite half for The Walking Dead half season, and then also going to be talking a bit about Daryl and the possibility of the iron. What is Negan going to do with Daryl since he doesn't want to play the game? And spoiler warning, of course, for the Walking Dead television series if you guys aren't caught up. So this first question came from Joshua Harrison, who said, "Hey Trev, I was wondering, what is your favorite half season of The Walking Dead? Mine personally has to be either Season 2B or Season 4B. And I'll put the link in the description for you guys to the wiki so you guys can check it out yourselves and look through. Remember, half season's 8 episodes. So episodes 1 to 8 is the first half, and then second half after that 9 to 16, except for the first couple seasons because they were shorter. They were different episode count. So this one is a pretty tough one. I've given my thoughts before on my favorite season, which currently is Season 6. But if you're talking just a half season, that makes it a lot more tricky because most of the seasons, the first half and the second half, are very different. Very, very different. So I like the ones that you picked. You picked Season 2, second half, and that's pretty hard to beat. So you come back after the Sophia Barn incident, pretty much dead already, and you've got the stuff with Shane and Shane's final episodes. So if you like Shane, I can understand if you think that the second half of Season 2 is the best. It certainly is really good, especially beside the Dying Fire, Better Angels, the last few episodes. Really good emotionally from a character standpoint. Then you got Season 4B. It's pretty good too. You know, you've got the Claimers and that, and the season ends in a pretty exciting part. Everybody's all over the place, and you've got the start of Terminus. For me, I'd be looking at Season 5 or 6 probably, because I feel like those are the two I enjoyed the most. This half has been okay for The Walking Dead Season 7. It's been pretty good, but I think it's easy to say it's probably not the best ever, at least not for me anyway. Everyone's got their own tastes and what they like. For me personally, it's not the best half ever, but I've been enjoying the hell out of it nonetheless. I'd probably go with the second half of Season 6, even though it's really tough, because that has my favorite episode ever, which is No Way Out. And then, of course, you've got The Next World, Knots Untied, Not Tomorrow Yet, which is really exciting. The Same Boat, Twice as Far, East, and then Last Day on Earth, which is really good to see Negan's first appearance. And it isn't as painful now because we know who's killed off in the double death, which is pushed into this season. So that's probably my favorite half. But the first half of Season 6 is pretty awesome, too, with the zombie mega herd and everything kind of coming in. It's just that it gets pushed into the second. So I think I'd go with that. But Season 5 has some good, too. The first half of Season 5 I think is really strong. The second half is pretty good too with the Alexandrians and everything and how that starts. But yeah, you guys can write your comments below. I also like the first half of Season 4 because it's focused on, a lot of it's the governor. He's got his own couple episodes, and Too Far Gone is a pretty awesome conclusion for that part. But if I had to pick one, I'm going with the second half of Season 6 for me, followed up by the first half of Season 6, I think, with the zombie herd is just awesome to see. So you guys can write your comments below. Let me know what you think and what your favorite half season is. The next question was from Zasmanreviews. He says, "Hey Trev, I can't picture TV Carl singing My Little My Little Sunshine to Negan. Can you? I know he will, since episode 7 is titled Sing Me a Song, which is a line from the comic book. Also, will someone get the iron in episode 7 and Daryl be forced to watch him, making him sympathize with Dwight a little bit?" So some good questions there, some good insights. Yeah, I think you're right about episode 7. It should be a really fun episode. But can I picture Carl singing to Negan in the TV series version? No. It's going to be so weird to see Chandler Riggs as Carl, especially with the hair. Well, he does kind of have 80s rocker hair, though, doesn't he? You know, like that's kind of 80s style type of deal there, right? With the long hair, arena rock, that kind of stuff. So, Journey and stuff. So, that's going to be fun to see him have to sing. So I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. And we'll see if people are still complaining about Chandler Riggs acting after that. Personally, I don't find him to be too bad. I think it's more what they've done with the character, but a lot of people really don't like Chandler Briggs' acting, so we'll see how that feels in episode 7. But that's going to be a challenge for him. If people have been like questionable about his acting so far, then after seeing him have to do that, that's going to be funny. So we'll see how that all goes. And I'm mostly looking forward to seeing JDM portray that part from the comics, though, and maybe swinging Lucille around while Carl is singing. That should be a special moment for comic book fans for sure. And will someone get the iron? I think you're right. And also another thing you can see, someone pointed this out to me after the first couple episodes, the new intro, so the new intro for The Walking Dead has an iron beside the fire. So it's got the fire there. You can see a bat, but you can also see an iron there. And some of you may not have noticed that. So just a heads up, there's actually an iron right near the fire there. So that's pretty cool. So will we see Negan possibly in episode 7 iron someone's face? I think so. I think so. So that would be crazy to see. Will it be Daryl's? Oh, I mean, that would be nuts if he ironed Daryl's face, right? Oh my God, that would be crazy. So I don't think it will be, but if he went for the iron on Daryl, man, that would be, fangirls everywhere would cry in horror. So either way, episode 7 and 8 should be really great episodes. Episode 6, I'm thinking it'll probably be okay. So, that's this weekend. That's kind of where my expectations are at. So, Alberto Pasini says, Hey Trev, Q&A, do you think there's going to be a Theon-Ramsay situation between Daryl and Negan? And if any of you aren't familiar, that's fine. It's just a Game of Thrones reference. But meaning, do I think that we're going to see Negan start to torture Daryl and do stuff like that? Well, that's not a bad follow-up to the previous question. So do you think we're going to see him start to give Daryl the iron and start to cut pieces of him off and stuff? I don't know. I don't think they'll go that brutal. I feel like The Walking Dead is really brutal. Game of Thrones is a little more brutal than The Walking Dead. A lot more, actually. So that's a good thing, I think, for the most part, because it's like a fine line, right? And I think Game of Thrones does push a little too far sometimes. For example, spoiler warning, but if you haven't seen it now and you haven't heard about it, you probably don't care. But yeah, Ramsey does cut his dick off, so that's pretty bad. You get your dick cut off. Negan's pretty sweet compared to that. He's not into cutting people's dicks off. I don't think he's that messed up. So, hence why I like Negan a lot more than Ramsey for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens to Daryl, what Negan does with Daryl now, because, it's like, Daryl's not playing the game. So because Daryl's not playing the game, is Negan going to keep trying to get him to play the game? Is he going to use the iron? Is he going to start to punish him and torture him because he's not willing to play the game? Or is he going to respect him for it and be like, okay, I'm just going to leave him in a cell for a while until if he ever changes his mind? He might not, in which case I still want to keep him for leverage over the Alexandrians because Rick is special, as he said. So we'll see, man. As a prediction, I'm thinking, I don't think he's going to iron Daryl. I don't think he's going to punish him too bad. Maybe Jesus or somebody can help Daryl escape. That would be cool. Jesus is a super ninja, so it wouldn't surprise me too much if we saw something like that. Plus, Carl may provide him with a pretty good distraction. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. X Tarlock Gaming says, if he was killed, what would Rick's purpose be to survive anymore? So that's about Carl. So if Carl's killed off, what would be Rick's purpose to survive? Well, very simply, they're not going to kill Carl. Come on. It's not going to happen. Okay, let's be honest here. It's just, they're not going to kill Carl. If they killed Carl, I would be shocked. And kind of pissed off. It'd be like an Andrea situation. They're not going to kill Carl. That's all there is to it. But if they did, let's say, just to humor you, Rick's purpose for living, well, he's got the whole group to worry about. He's got Judith. He's got Michonne. So Carl is probably number one to him, I would say. But, well, that's hard to say because of Judith and Michonne. But he's probably number one. But still, Rick's got a lot of other things to work, live for. I say work, live on purpose because it's like, even if he isn't living for himself and his own pleasure, he is doing it for the others. Like his work is giving him enough satisfaction to try his best to keep people alive and feel like he's making a difference, that he would keep right on going, even if he himself isn't happy, which, well, after all he's been through, he probably isn't for the most part. SC17 says, am I wrong, or does Jesus have a thing for Sasha? I sense chemistry between them, but I might be, or am I wrong? Then he's got a confused face, and boy, are you confused, SC, because Jesus likes dudes, dude. So that is not a thing. I don't know what you were sensing. Maybe Sasha's a fag hag. I don't know. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm down with. I have no problem with gay people. I have friends that are gay. It's cool. Okay, it's cool. I'm just kidding. So please, nobody take that the wrong way. But I don't know what you're talking about, man. There's a weird scene when she kind of looks at him and stuff, but it's not that kind of a scene. However, maybe you're right. Wouldn't that be funny if Sasha tried to make out with him and he was like, "Oh, hey, I'm not, it's not." Anyway, next question is from Adrian V, and he's like, "Hey Trev, a couple questions for you. Do you think Negan will make Rosita one of his wives, and do you think Eugene will make bullets for her?" So let's wrap it up with this one. Well, Negan's not really into going against what people want, right? It seems like he seems to be against rape in the TV series version. He's not into that. So I think he might ask them to come back, like he might ask Maggie to come back with him. I don't know why he would even do that. But that's kind of the thing that he is. That's kind of the way it is with him. But yeah, and even with Rosita, it's kind of the same because Abraham was very important to her as well too. So, but I don't think he would force them to come back against their will. No, even if, yeah, he's not that bad. Ramsey would, if you want to talk about Ramsey. So that's a little bit, different characters. But Negan's. He's not that bad. Like it could be worse. He's not that bad. So, and do you think Eugene would make bullets for her? Well, yeah, that's a comic book storyline we're going to see probably adapted. So we'll see Eugene start to be making some bullets pretty soon. But if they don't have any guns to fire them, then what use is it going to be now? Not much, but we'll see if Tara can bring some stuff back, or another group can get involved or something. We'll see. It should be good to find out what they do with it, and it's good that it's not so easily predictable for those that aren't privy to spoilers, such as myself. So that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. I hope you liked it. If you had fun, as usual, thumb it up below. It's all about that. We're trying to have fun, guys. Let's do it. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. Always appreciate it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. See you guys. You can share, you can favorite, you can subscribe. Hell, you're all going to be doing that.